Charles
friend of the
Wilson.
show. What's up,
That's
Charles?
right,
How you doing?
Charles.
Oh, let me.
What's up? What's up, Jax?
Charles, you are in the house. Tell the people a little bit about what you do in your space, in your ministry, and then we can talk about threading.
Yeah, church planner. Moved from Dallas back in 2017, June, and about
I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, it's been over 5 years.
Wow.
Wow.
August
Over 5 years? That's crazy. Yeah. It feels like 3 years, 2 years max. I know it isn't.
Well, we were in the blip, so the blip.
That's right. That's right.
That's true. We killed 2 years in 2021.
Yeah. Imagine being a church planner during the blip. It's like,
oh yeah,
right,
man, that's crazy.
It's different. But we moved out here to plant 2 months before Charlottesville happened, and we're like 45 minutes from where that went down. And so that really deeply impacted our church plant, where we were going to plant. And we've been about that work, diverse church in the middle of a predominantly challenging context that's predominantly African American. Our church is about 60-40%. Things are going well. It's been great.
Okay, so we've talking about you being gone for 5 years, but we've known you for a good while. Part of the reason I wanted you in here is you said something to me years ago when you were going to start church planning. You were planning to do one thing, and then you get engaged in some of the work that Threaded's doing, and then how did that change you? How did that adjust you?
Big time. So I moved out to Dallas 08, 07, right around the election, and really being in that space. And I moved from the Northeast up in Jersey, was really shaping during that time because I'd always been a part of a predominantly Black church. And probably around the election 2016, 2015, when we started kicking it and we started having like, man, can we do church better as a bunch of churches in the area? And you guys were kicking off this conversation and we were bringing people together. And I'm getting closer to going and planning, but I'd never been in a diverse context that was intentionally trying to do something different. And so this really, I mean, to be honest, this was really the first time I was in a space with different people and I felt safe to say, hey, this is how I feel. And this is how this lands on me, or this is what it means because my kids go to this private school.
Right.
And so Threaded for me in the beginning really gave me language, and it gave me like a new way of having this conversation. When you have a conversation in a context that's just people like you talk differently.
Right.
But growing up courage to be in a room with diverse people and saying, hey, you know what, I actually don't like that or whatever. And so Threaded was real good for me in the beginning. Even as we were stewing on planning our church, it really gave us language. It started giving us resources. It put me on to books and stuff I needed to read so that when we went to do this work, it wasn't just theory. There was actually some information engaging and charging us to be about the work. So it was foundationally important for us.
Hey, y'all see it working. You guys don't know Keon yet. This is
Keon.
Cleveland.
Keon's in the house.
Cleveland here. Keon's coming in. We're gonna be doing some work.
You see that dude from Bone Thugs?
He calls you. He says you that book dude from Bone Thugs.
We come from.
He got the same thing.
But Charles, I love what you're talking about here. I remember you said to me once, you were like, man, I was planning to go do a Black church, church planting, and then you moved into a diverse space. I mean, why go from planting a Black church to a diverse church?
So I think my thought was I was just going to go plant a church. And so being Black, it's just like, all right, so the people who are going to come will probably be like you. When we got here and with everything that was happening, we had in our values, to be multicultural, multi-ethnic and all that good stuff. But it didn't really become a reality until one, Charlottesville happened, which was close to us. And two, when we started looking at the context of our city, we spent 2 years studying our city and we realized that was one of the big problems. The history of the segregation of the church and the history of the segregation of the city really made us go, man, we need to plant a church that speaks into this and is serious about the gospel in this way, because there isn't other churches here doing it. And so, once Charlottesville happened, it really helped us shift everything and go at it in a very intentional way.
Man, that's good stuff. It's good to hear the continual impact and continue to follow you. Tell the folks the name of the church so that they can connect with you guys as well.
Yeah, what's the website?
It is thehillchurch.com. Our vision, mission, a beautiful mosaic of believers committed to Jesus and the gospel, and we're living into that. It's pretty dope, just what the Lord has done in our city and how people are responding. People are driving in from all the different quadrants of our city to worship with us. It's been a great 3 years of ministry, which 2 of those has been in the blip. So
Yeah.
we were like, out here it's different. Maybe 20, 30 members before COVID, and now we're after our new members next week, about 100 and some people. So it's been great. Yeah.
Very cool.
And community development is part of
That's
what we're
the piece.
doing. So
Yeah.
Community development is a big part of planning in so planning where we are is just a big economic challenge. And so since it's Giving Day, please give to Thread It, because they are resourcing churches, helping equip churches to walk this thing out in a very intentional way. And that just doesn't happen. There isn't a lot of resources. So that is very serious. We need the resources. We need the ammo. We need the coaching. We need the information to have serious conversations in our church. So we take the summer and we sit down as a church family and have food, and we have very intentional conversations. In order to do that, we need resources. There isn't necessarily, you can't go through Ephesians every summer. You need some more intentional resources to say, hey, how do we live this out? How do we have healthy conversations? And what are the things that help to divide us so that we can be more intentional with staying together? And so please support these guys, because the work they're doing is helping churches, not only locally there in Texas, but all over.
Man, thank you.
Thanks, man.
That,
I appreciate
it.
Look,
most people, just a quick behind the scenes thing. If you like our logo, that is Charles's wife created that, Trenex.
There it is.
We owe her quite a bit for that.
It
man.
is.
Charles,
She's
we love you, my
now.
brother. I know
She's
she is, man.
now.
She's so bougie, man.
She get calls from people with like real money. They be sending checks. She'd be like, nope, I don't want to do nothing. Like, she's moved on from there.
Hey,
we got
I
her
understand.
On the very end of it.
Tell her I understand. There's a ceiling to it. You're like, look, you know what? I think I'm ready to step away.
Right.
Yeah, I feel that 100%.
It's like too much time. And she's like, it
was after she dealt with me. She's like, I gotta get out of this thing, man. I gotta get out of this thing.
It might
Charles, man.
She's a beast, but yeah.
All right, man. Thanks. Yeah, man. Thanks for spending some time with us, man. I appreciate it.
We'll holler at you later, brother.
What's cool, real quick? What's cool about the Charles story is that it's a practical implementation, and in this case, Thread It comes alongside and augments. It changes a fundamental thing. It opened a fundamental change in the way he was approaching maybe church, but it augments his normal church planning life and journey, and in a way that complements what he's doing instead of overtakes it and changes everything about it, but it's complementary. So church planners out there, that's a story that you can rock with.